Dear friend, the doctor says that writing about my feelings is the most important part of the healing process. Ever since I started high school, a lot changed in my life. I met these two, Sam and her brother Patrick.
What did you think of Charlie when you first met him?
When I first met Charlie, I thought he was really quiet and really shy. And when Patrick and I were talking to him, we always had to ask him the questions in order for him to talk to us.
Well, he was in my shop class. He never really spoke or anything. He was more like the shy, quiet type. But the first time I really got to know him was at a football game. He approached Sam and I and called me by my real name, and that's what really drew my attention.
What is your impression of Brad?
He's a nice person. He's really cool, and I hope I can get to know him better. And I wish he would want to get to know me better too. But it all depends on what his father thinks of this situation.
Were you aware that he had a crush on you after?
Not at first, but like a couple weeks after we met, he told me. But it would never happen because I was older than him and I had a boyfriend at the time.
Sam never really thought of me as more than a friend, even though I confessed my love to her. I really got to know her after attending my first party ever, which was also the first time I tried weed, but of course it was disguised in brandy. Like I said, I began to see the world in a whole new and different perspective. I began to notice all the problems and fights around me, like when my sister got slapped by her boyfriend.
What was Charlie's relationship like with his Aunt Helen?
He was really close to our aunt. She would come over and bring us gifts, and Charlie always kept the best ones. She was always so kind and caring towards us from what I thought I knew. And after she died, Charlie was so heartbroken.
How close would you say you are with Charlie?
Well, we weren't really close. We barely talked to each other. But now things are kind of different because I see him with so much more compassion now that I understand his situation.
Thanksgiving was never really the best either. My brother never showed up, and time just passed by with everyone arguing and fighting.
How well do you remember your experiences with your sister Helen?
Well, I grew up with her and she was great, at least from what I thought I knew. Later I was told that as a child and growing up, Helen was molested by a family friend. She didn't tell her parents at the time about the incident, but when she did, our parents didn't believe her. They did nothing to stop it, and even continued inviting the man into our home. She began drinking and later ended up in the hospital several times.
By the time Christmas came around, my friends and I exchanged gifts for Secret Santa, and everyone seemed so happy. But deep inside, I knew I wasn't. I started having bad thoughts. Soon, I met Mary Elizabeth, and we started dating. But I wasn't sure if that's what I really wanted.
Do you love Charlie?
I like Charlie. I think he's a really sweet person, but I think that I talk a lot and I need someone who offers a challenge to me, you know?
So what made you ask Charlie out?
Well, I asked him out for the Sadie Hawkins dance, and I really just didn't have anybody else to go out with. And I thought, I know Charlie, he's nice, he's sweet, why don't you just ask him out? And then I liked him there, and I just ran with it.
Relationship like with Sam?
She's my best friend. We've been friends forever. She's practically like a sister to me. I would trust her with my life. She's one of the only people that I actually trust.
Our relationship fell apart in a game of truth and dare. Patrick dared me to kiss the prettiest girl in the room. And I kissed Sam, even when I was dating Mary Elizabeth. Then I realized that what we had was a lie. It always had been. Things were getting bad again.
What is child molestation and what effects does it have on a child?
Child molestation is a form of child abuse in which an adult uses a child for sexual stimulation. Children rarely lie about the existence of their abuse, although to protect the molester, they may minimize the nature and the extent of the abuse. By disclosing abuse, they risk being punished by the molester, and they most certainly experience disruption in their lives. And it is proven that only 10% of sexual abuse is actually reported. Now, typically when a child is being abused, they don't know what is happening, and so they forget about it for a while. However, after they mature and understand their past and themselves better, all those thoughts and traumatic scenes begin to flood back to them, and those experiences begin to constantly replay in their heads, to the point where they really can't escape it anymore. And this definitely ties into Charlie's case. A number of studies have explored the relationship between childhood trauma and later health concerns. Child molestation has found to display a wide range of symptomology, such as low self-esteem, guilt, social withdrawal, self-blame, family problems, irrational fears, depression, and PTSD. In fact, up to 90% of people with addictions were sexually abused as children. Child molestation does leave a scar behind, and that scar and healing that scar, well, that's a pretty lengthy process.
What is the first step of the healing process?
Well, studies show that understanding the connection between one's prior abuse and how one is currently behaving is basically the most important part and the most important step towards recovery. As well, keeping a diary or a journal, like Charlie has been doing, can really help easily express any harsh feelings onto paper rather than through words.
Again, everyone around me was sad because of me. My friends didn't want to talk to me anymore. I began to remember Aunt Helen and how she died, and I kept thinking it was my fault.
Come on, skinny love, just last the year.
When I thought things couldn't get any worse, I witnessed Patrick in a fight with his secret boyfriend, who called him a faggot, and I couldn't help but protect my best friend. I began spending more time with Patrick and comforting him, and Sam forgave me too. And in that moment, I swear, we were infinite. Soon though, things got bad once again. Sam, Patrick, and my sister left for college. I had never felt so alone. All the terrible thoughts, feelings, and childhood memories all came rolling back. They all hit me like a slap on the face.
Down below, when you're too in love to let it go.
Come here, it's okay.
But if you never try, you'll never know.
Charlie, come here.
Just watch your world.
Follow me. Charlie, come here.
Lights will
Now, here I am, safe and somewhat healed. The doctor says that as I was sleep talking, I had revealed that my Aunt Helen had molested me as a child. He says that my brain had blocked out the traumatic memories as a form of defense ever since I was a child. He says this is common with victims of childhood abuse. Tomorrow, I start my sophomore year of high school. And believe it or not, I'm really not that afraid of going. I'm not sure if I will have the time to write another letter because I might be too busy. So if this does end up being my last letter, please believe that things are good with me. And even when they're not, they will be soon enough. And I will believe the same about you. Love always, Charlie.
Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try